So what a way for Alabama fans to kick off the week. Not only does the Tide take on a major rival this weekend in Tennessee, but it's Monday, and we get to start off the week talking about a big-time win that Alabama got on the recruiting trail today. We have to talk about the addition of top 5 JUCO player in the nation and the number 1 junior college edge, Kevonte Henry, and why this is a big-time win for Alabama. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Kevonte Henry flips from Mississippi State to Alabama? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as always, whenever we do these recruiting videos, who is Kevonte Henry? Well, Kevonte Henry is from California, and as I alluded to in the intro, not only is he a top 5 junior college player in all of the nation, if we look specifically at 24/7 Sports, he comes in as the number 2 JUCO player nationally. He's the number 1 edge in JUCO, and that is something that should excite all Alabama fans. He stands 6'4", 245 pounds, and if we look back to when Henry was coming out of high school, this was a guy that was ranked inside the top 300 prospects nationally per the 24/7 Sports composite. He started his college career at Oklahoma before transferring and ending up in the junior college ranks. And one thing we need to understand about JUCO, that's a route that allows these kids to get acclimated to a college environment, get experience, and yes, there's a world of difference between the experience he faced at JUCO and what he will see in the SEC. There's no doubt about that, but it's experience nonetheless. It's much different than a guy walking into the building, coming straight out of high school. This is a guy that's playing against college players, even if they're in the JUCO ranks. Hell, we look at Alabama's roster right now, and a fan favorite on defense, Justin Jefferson, came from the JUCO route. And that's a guy that when healthy, Alabama fans everywhere, especially here on this channel, comment and say, hey, I want to see more Justin Jefferson. But the experience that he gained in JUCO, I'm sure he would be the first to tell you, was incredibly valuable to him as he stepped his competition up from that JUCO rank to the SEC. And now he's making plays whenever he can. A guy that is really electric on the football field. And for Kevonte Henry, we need to talk about where he will fit into Alabama's defensive front. He's been recruited as a bandit, and whenever we talk about Alabama's defense, you have the bandit and wolf linebacker positions. Wolf is more of your linebacker, whereas bandit is your defensive end, and Kevonte Henry is going to be a defensive end bandit prospect for Alabama. The same position that Jordan Renaud, LT Overton, and Marion Latham currently play. And LT Overton is one of those guys where if he starts converting close to finishes, sky's the limit for his potential. This past weekend, he led the nation in quarterback pressures, and if he's able to start converting those pressures into sacks, there's going to be a lot of NFL teams watching. Now, personally, I have a theory that he could come back because one of the things we have to remember with LT Overton is that at Texas A&M, they had him shed weight. They played him as an edge prospect as opposed to a defensive end, a true defensive end. And now when he got to Alabama, he had to relearn a new position, relearn a new defense, get his body right. And so I have no doubt we're very close to seeing LT Overton absolutely explode on the scene. Be a guy that you can't ignore and be a guy that's really starting to get some NFL draft scouts talking and excited. Because I absolutely believe he has a super high ceiling. But I also think there's a possibility that because he has such a high ceiling, he comes back for one more year to absolutely solidify himself as a first rounder. But gaining more depth in that bandit room, I don't think there's any arguing with it. And especially if it's a guy that your coaching staff has evaluated, liked, and wants to add into the fold. Kevonte Henry is a guy that makes play after play after play. And when you turn on the film, it's easy to see why this coaching staff wanted him. When you get him into Alabama's strength and conditioning room, he's going to be able to take his game to yet another level. And that's something that everybody needs to be excited about. But already, he is an unbelievably explosive player, and that type of explosion will be welcomed in this Alabama defense. So, moving forward, for Alabama, you've been able to successfully scout guys and get them into the recruiting class. We've seen this time and time again. We've had this conversation time and time again. And Kevonte Henry is yet the newest addition for Alabama that should excite fans everywhere. And one of the things I want to end this video on is, lest we forget, Alabama flipped him from an SEC school. So before anyone tries to troll and say, oh, well, the star ranking says this, if your coaching staff evaluates them, likes them, and thinks they can contribute, it is an absolute win, and other SEC schools wanted him. There's a reason he's a top 5 JUCO player nationally, the number 2 per 24/7 Sports regardless of position, and the number 1 edge in the nation. This is a win that should excite Alabama fans everywhere. But hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about it. We will be talking about this and many other things this evening, tonight, 5:30 Central Standard Time on the live stream. You don't want to miss it. That's it. See ya.